This episode of Todd's Kitchen is brought to you by San Remo, creating recipes for the whole family. G'day, welcome to Todd's Kitchen. A while ago I did a KAT M&M cake. Now that's a very popular cake and it's all over the internet right now. But I thought I'd decide to make my own today, one that I've never seen before, so I decided to put my thinking cap on and I came up with a new version. So join me today as I make my version of a KAT M&M rainbow cake. Okay, so we're going to start this cake off by using a round cake mold like this one. So you want the round one with the round partition in the middle. So with this cake, what we're going to do is just cut it in half, and then we're going to have our half rainbow. And there are then two things you can do with this. After that, you can either make two rainbow cakes, or you can actually double up in size. So instead of that tall, it's going to be that tall. So for this recipe, I'm going to use a standard butter cake. Now I've made a butter cake before, and I'll leave a link at the end of this video and in the description on how to make it. But feel free to use any type of cake recipe that you like. So you want to use a chocolate cake, make a chocolate cake. But if you want to use a butter cake, then just make this butter cake. Okay, so once this is done, follow the cake directions of the recipe that you're making. But for this one, I'm going to place into a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about, say, 40 minutes. Just until when you touch it, it springs back, and when you stick in a wooden skewer, it comes out clean. Okay, so our cake is done, and I've had it cooling in the fridge for about an hour or so, just so it's perfectly cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut this in half, then we're just going to shape it a little bit, make this hole a bit bigger, just so it forms a nice rainbow shape. Okay, so that's just what we're after, a nice half circle, and it's going to be a perfect shape for our rainbow. Okay, for this next step, we're going to cover the cake in some cream cheese icing. So into a mixing bowl, we're going to place in our cream cheese. Now this is softened cream cheese. I'll let it sit at room temperature for about an hour or so. And using a hand mixer or a stand mixer, we're going to beat this on low for about, say, 4 to 5 minutes, just until it's nice and smooth and soft. Okay, so as you can see, the cream cheese has softened up. So next we're going to start adding in some icing sugar, also called confectionery sugar. So basically we're going to do this to taste, but we're going to start with a cup, 1 cup. To start this off, and we're just going to mix this in completely. Wait till it's completely dissolved, and once this has been completely mixed through, we're going to taste it. If it tastes fine, we'll leave it as is, but if you like it a bit sweeter, feel free to add some more icing sugar. Okay, so we have our rainbow shaped cake, so we're going to grab our icing and we're just going to cover it up on both sides, top and on the sides, with this lovely cream cheese icing. Okay, now that the icing has covered the cake, now it's not the prettiest, but honestly it makes no difference because it's all going to be covered up anyway. So for this next step, we're going to use our M&Ms. So it's very simple, just starting off on one side, using the one color. We're going to start making our rainbow colors on the cake. Okay, so we've done all the M&Ms. And already, it's looking pretty spectacular. So now before we put the KitKats on, what we're going to do is place this in the fridge for about half an hour. And in that half an hour, that cream cheese is going to start to harden up a bit. Because at the moment, it's still too soft to stick KitKats on there. But once the cream cheese starts to harden up a bit, it's going to be a lot easier for the KitKats to stick to the cake. Okay, so next we're going to use our KitKats. Now I've just brought a couple of family-sized blocks. And it just works out a bit cheaper. Now if this was a double-sized cake, just use the full-length KitKat. But because it's only one layer, I've got a KitKat and I've just cut it in half. So do it into 2 lots like so. By having it into 2 layer KitKats like so, it just makes it easier to cut in between. So it's just a simple matter of grabbing our KitKats and just sticking them just on the outer edge. And we're just going to do that all the way around. And there we have it, the finished product. And I'll tell you what, this cake looks fantastic. Now the main reason why I wanted to use the cream cheese icing instead of, say, chocolate icing is simply because when you put the M&Ms on top, if you have it a dark color, the colors aren't going to stand out as much as they will on a white icing background. Now a lot of you are going to be asking, how do we cut this up? Well, as I said, make the KitKats into 2s, so you just cut in between them. The only place where I've used 3 is just on the front part here. So this cake is very simple to make, but it is also very, very colorful and effective. Now obviously you're not going to eat the whole thing by yourself. I really highly recommend that you don't. So when you have it at a party, cut it into small pieces and the kids are going to love it. So whether you have a large piece or a small piece, this M&M and KitKat rainbow cake is going to taste simply delish. So if you do happen to make one of these cakes, do me a massive favour by posting a photo on my Facebook page. You'll find a link to my Facebook page at the end of this video and down below, because I would really love to see someone else make this cake. Thank you for watching this episode of Todd's Kitchen. A list of ingredients are down below, as well as links to my Facebook, Twitter and Google Plus pages. Please do me a huge favour by giving this video a thumbs up and leave a comment, and I'll see you next time for another delicious recipe.